What is a shinobi? Any person with a heart called to serve, whose discipline has made them dangerous, is hereby titled Shinobi. These are their stories. What's up, my ninjas? We are live. We are in studio. Welcome back to Shinobi Chronicles, y'all, hosted by Zero Abyss.
And your boy Naseem.
All right, so as y'all likely know by now, our goal here is always to provide inspiration, education, and motivation for our fellow Shinobi who are walking the path to greatness through achievement and service. As always, it is our great honor to serve you all, and so we will not disappoint you. I hope over the last week that you guys have been pursuing your highest selves. Today we're just going to touch on the topic of interdependence, and then we may give a few open thoughts if they cross our minds. So that said, Naseem, you ready?
Yes, sir.
My boy, let's get right into it. So most of y'all didn't know that Western culture has actually failed to show us the highest form of sufficiency. It really has. Western culture tells you, oh man, you got to be independent. You got to take care of yourself, do yours, make sure you're good. And before we actually show you what the true highest form is, we're gonna tell you how we learned these things and how we discovered that we was lacking. So, have y'all ever, you ever let a family member down? Like somebody was like, oh, can you help me with this, help me with that? Or maybe not even family member, you ever let a friend down? You was ever supposed to like maybe help somebody move or I got one for you. When people be like, oh dog, you gonna draw me a logo for my business, right? And you'd be like, I got you. And then,
yeah, all the time, man, all the time. Especially that local stuff, bro. I can't say no for some reason, bro. And then I end up leaving them high and dry, because I was like, bro, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm a regular artist.
Be like that. But same time though, has that type karma ever been returned to you where you was depending on somebody or something? You was like, oh, you got me right. And it's like, yeah. Never heard from them.
I'm gonna say yeah. I don't really let it get to me.
I mean, it ain't gotta get to you though.
So I don't end up seeing it that way. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same type of way. I'm not really one for asking for help. Like, if I can do it by myself, like, I'm not gonna fake it. I'm a victim of, like, I told y'all Western culture let us down, had us thinking independence is everything. Like, I'm a victim of that too. I try not to ask nobody for nothing if I can help it. Like, if I can take care of things myself, I'm gonna take care of things myself. But, let me see what else we had to, I mean, it's kind of natural, like, especially like I would say for kids, like part of being a young kid, ages like 3, 4, kids go through that phase where like they want to feel like they can do something on their own. They want to feel like I'm solid, I'm an individual, I'm independent. Everybody else do their own thing. Like you get tired of somebody pouring you a bowl of cereal all the time. Like at some point you want to pour the cereal, you want to pour the milk, right? But the reason why, essentially, we've had to say, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give y'all the reason a little later. I'm gonna give y'all a little later because I'm gonna give y'all a story. I used to be very dependent about some of my like success habits, and my number one, I'll tell y'all, like, it would be the gym, especially like back in y'all have heard us tell you countless times back in 2016 when we was in the gym, whatever, blah blah blah. But back in those days, like, say we got off from Steak Shake, and I'd be like, hey, yo, Cole, you trying to hit the gym tonight? And he was like, nah, I ain't really feeling it, but you do your thing. I would always just be like, guess we ain't going. Or if I text him like, what's the word? We making that move? And he's like, I'm trying to get this nap. Wouldn't go. Like I had this thing where essentially I felt like if I couldn't convince somebody else, we should be going to the gym, or like, to, like I said, to follow suit with the success habit, I would leave it alone. I'd just be like, okay, well. And I don't know if it was necessarily a dependent thing where like I needed the moral support, or maybe it really was. It probably was a dependent thing where I felt like I needed the emotional support, but I wouldn't call it that. So I turned it in my mind. I turned it into more of a thing where I was like, oh well, if I can't convince anybody, it must not be worth it. Same thing. Like I would be like, oh, you trying to go start this business, or you want to start this start this Instagram page or something like that, and somebody's like, nah, that don't sound right for me. I would be like, oh, well, yeah, no need. And it was very dependent because effectively, if I wasn't gonna take care of stuff on my own, like my outcomes were depending on somebody else's answer. You ever had instances like that? Anything similar, relative?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I said before in other past episodes, but I mean, if you would have said no and didn't show up for the gym, I probably wouldn't be in the mood for now.
Yeah.
And what else? Yeah, mostly the gym.
How much of your lifestyle that you've curated so far right now do you think like has depended on you?
That's a big question. I would say a good 50% of it, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it both ways for real. I'm a duality person, so I always think about both sides. And on one side, I would say like 100%, yes, it depends on, like it's 100% because your life depends on the decisions that you made, especially at this point as an adult, like we ain't kids no more. So your life, your outcomes depend on the decisions that you made. So whatever decisions you make have taken you where you are. So I would say like partially it's 100%. But on the other end, I can see it as low as maybe like 2% just off the strength that I didn't make that camera that we're recording on. I didn't make these mics that we're using. I certainly didn't make the internet that connects us as folks. I didn't make this table or these clothes. Like I just make the choice to use these things that are available to me. But I didn't do anything special to make these things available to me. It's just a product of the times that we live in. I think I can jump on the whiteboard. As y'all can see, we got the board behind us today. And the reason why I'm gonna give y'all a little visual explanation. Thank y'all, Naseem the Dream, for drawing it up. But let me tell y'all what's cracking here. So I read this book. It was called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen R. Covey. That's paper gold, in case you're wondering. Tap in. All right. And towards the later half of the book, it was about maybe like habit number 6 or habit number 7. I can't remember, but I seen this chart. It looked a lot like this, so that's why we recreated it for y'all. And it told you that at the bottom, you have dependence. That's where like newborns are, like emotionally immature people. You have people who are dependent. So effectively, you need somebody else to bridge the gap between you and being able to like take care of yourself. Over here in the middle, not the top, you have what Western culture believes is the top, and that's independence. That's when you're solid. You can do your own thing. You can move and groove. And this is right here is where Western culture gets trapped. They tell you like, oh man, be solid, take care of yours, don't ask for no help, figure it out, blah, blah, blah. And people get locked in on that. And they're like, I gotta be good, individual. But they fail to realize that we live in an interdependent reality. Interdependent. I made a reel about this one time, like in 2020 when I first started trying to get on Instagram, like as a presence. And it actually was like one of my first reels to like garner some attention, partially because I was walking backwards, but partially because what I was talking about was solid sense. Same thing I just told y'all. I didn't make the phone, I didn't make that camera stand, I didn't make these mics, I didn't even bottle this water I'm about to drink, I didn't make the laptop or the Wi-Fi that it's connected to. We've depended on other humans to make these clothes, like to bridge the gap for us. We've depended on other humans to raise the farm animals, to get it to the grocery store and to stock it, to make our lifestyles possible so that the things we want to do, the choices we want to make are available to us. And that's why interdependence is actually the highest form of sufficiency. It's very similar to when I told you guys in episode 3 that the highest of human achievement actually comes out of human collaborations. People got to work together to get to where they're trying to go. Dependence, where you're incapable, solid, working together, is where you're the best. 7 habits of highly effective people, man. Paper gold. Y'all tap in. But we had that on the board for y'all so that you can get the visual. I thought it was a really good visual. But essentially, like I said, when you choose interdependence willfully, because I mean, it's already chosen for us. We live in an interdependent reality. You don't get to make that choice, but when you tap in and acknowledge that reality, you know, you realize that much of what you're doing isn't necessarily always going to be just for the good of you. Like it might be, but it's going to be for the good of the tribe, the colony, the community, the village, you know, the folks, however you would like to refer to it. So, Go, you had any moments where like the weight of interdependence like clicked to you, where you're just like, man, like, I mean, it really can come to you at any given moment in time. I swear it can. Like, I didn't pave the road, I didn't make my car, I just so happened to buy it. I mean, the list goes on. Effectively everything in this whole world, you know, is, like I said, it's based on interdependence, the true height of sufficiency, I should say. But I'm trying to think, were there any times, for a lot of people, like team sports will do it sometimes, where you realize, man, it don't matter how good I am. Like basketball is a great example. We love to hoop too, but I got an example for you. Over the summer, man, we probably told this story before for a different context example, but over the summer we was running with our boys, like one of my brothers, maybe two of my brothers, I can't remember, like two of my brothers and our homeboy Jeremy, we was playing, or was it just a 4-on-4? Was it just one of my brothers? I think it was just one of my brothers. We was playing 4-on-4. My bad, whatever. We was playing 4v4 at the park or whatever. We was playing against these high school kids. Long story short, we lost. Me and Carter, we carried. We was really like breaking our necks trying to keep that game close. And it was a close game. We lost like 17-15 or something like that. And not to slight our boy Jay or my brother or whatever, but they play basketball less often and started after we did. So like, you know, skill level just different. But because we were one unit, we was one team, we was dependent on each other. It didn't matter how solid me and Coke was. Team needed the team. We couldn't get over the hump. We lost. It is what it is. And how did we count? But I'll tell you what, a lot of people kind of get what I call, what's called red pill rage. You ever heard of red pill rage? Red pill rage typically is a thing that they use to define how men react to female hypergamy, but that's a whole different, that's totally, this ain't that context, so I'm not gonna explain that. Maybe sometime we will discuss female hypergamy and red pill rage with y'all, but I think of red pill rage just in general as when, because you know in the Matrix you had red pill, blue pill. Blue pill was, hey, go back to the Matrix, be ignorant, enjoy your fake life. Red pill was find out the truth, you're not gonna like it as much, but it's true. Red pill rage is when people find out the truth, they take the red pill, and then they're mad about the way it is, and so they spaz out. After that game over the summer, me and Cole could have had some red pill rage. We could be like, bruh, we did everything, we lost, F y'all ninjas. Like, but why would we do that? I don't know. But some people really do. Like, they find out the truth of something, and then they flip shit. They can't hold on to it. You ever seen anybody catch some red pill rage, Cole?
Seen it?
Observed. It doesn't have to be in person. You ever seen anybody online? You ain't never watched on YouTuber like going on a rant or nothing. You've never seen anybody like find out something and just be like mad.
A good example would probably be some the wannabe gym goers, the New Year people.
Maybe, yeah, resolutioners. Yeah, that do be one where they be like, oh, that is a good one. I swear to God, people will like look at us and they be like, oh, y'all just got good genetics, y'all got good look. And then he'd be like, nah, player, I had to work for this. That's a little example of red pill rage, because the truth is that any person that wants to discipline themselves and go through the work and do it 1,000 times over is gonna get the results because you're putting in the work. People tend to, though, what they'll do is instead of saying, oh, any person could have been a genius, they just had to put in the work, they'll say, oh, he was just lucky. Oh, he was just smart. He was just right place, right time. Like they write off the success as a product of chance, because if they had to tell themselves like, oh, that could have been me too, then they would also have to accept like, oh, I'm just a piece of shit. I'm the one that didn't want to put in the work. I'm just lazy. And everybody always wants to see themselves in the best light. Like that's facts. People's brains are conditioned. Like nobody wants to think of themselves as the bad guy or the loser. So they will, rather than say like, I got an example for you. Rather than saying like, oh man, Lucky Day's a really talented artist and he put in the work and that's why he's famous now. They'll say like, oh, I'm just as good, but he's sexier, so they chose him. Some shit like that. Like they'll just write off the hard work as chance or luck. That's a small snippet of red pill rage, where because people, like again I say, people had to accept for themselves, like, oh, I could have been that too, then they also have to sit there and say, but the reason not is because I'm a lazy piece of shit. So, same thing with interdependence, man. People can accept, like, oh, we depend on each other, we need each other, and like use that as fuel to be like, so let's all be our best. Or they can blame everybody else for why they're not where they want to be in life. So you ain't never seen nobody catch no red pill rage?
Besides the stuff you said earlier, no. Yeah, red pill rage, no. But if we're talking about the point of the whole episode, interdependence, then the earliest I realized, I didn't know it was called independence, but earlier I realized people rely on me and vice versa was first job paycheck.
Yeah.
People come to us for quick eats, and if I wasn't there, I'm sure there'd be somebody else there, but if he wasn't there, if there was no workers, they wouldn't have had that quick sandwich or that quick burger. I mean, those fries, that quick shake and stuff like that. So, that's the earliest I could remember that stuff like that. But
now, I give an example when I failed to fulfill my part in an interdependent role. So, like, y'all know I work at a school or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, like, I make agreements with the kids. I be forgetting about them. This girl was asking me to get her some ice or something. I was like, okay, what class you in 7th hour? I'll bring it to you. Bell rings in 7th hour. I forgot about that girl. She didn't get that ice from me till today. Or I had another kid. I got one for you. This kid, he kept on. Apparently, I agreed to bring him some ramen noodles. I don't remember when I told him I was going to bring him no ramen noodles. Because normally I tell these kids, it's your mama job to feed you, not mine. But I must have told this dude I was going to bring him some ramen noodles because he was hawking me. He was like, where are the noodles, man? Where are the noodles? Then I finally told him, like, okay, I'm gonna try to remember. I'm gonna try to remember you and put them in my bag so I have them the next day. Do y'all know, like, I think today's Thursday. Okay, so this had to be Wednesday. Do y'all know Wednesday I brought the noodles I told the kid I was gonna have, but I forgot my bag in my car. And I didn't forget. I hadn't got my bag on my car yet, and it was like the end of the day. So I was like, "What's your 7th hour?" He's like, "Oh, right down there." So I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "I'm gonna bring them to you." I never went to my car and got the bag, so he never got the noodles or whatever. Now, I'm at least cool enough to acknowledge, since I knew I left him hanging or whatever, I brought him 2 packs of ramen noodles today or whatever. He did eventually get the noodles, but I mean, just little stuff, you know, when you give your word to somebody and that person was sitting there thinking like, oh, I just sometimes imagine like a kid sitting in class, like staring at the door, wondering like, is he coming? Oh, no, that's not him. Is he coming? No, that's not him. Like the letdowns and stuff. I mean, but that's part of the interdependent reality we live in. But my favorite interdependent quote is always where they say, if our world is one cell, it's one organism, and it really is, we're connected, then, and we're at war with each other, you know, we're tearing each other up, trying to get ahead. Oh man, I'm gonna take care of me, F him up, whatever it might be. But any organism, any single cell that's at war with itself is doomed. Hence why people, I believe the consciousness is coming to a place where more people are recognizing that we live in an interdependent reality and they're looking to look out for their neighbor more. But just in general, that is like one of my favorite interdependence quotes, because it's the truth, man. We live in this one cell, we're all connected, and what happens, you know, what I do has impacts on other people, and what other people does has impacts on me. And so this one cell, man, we got to get it together, because right now this cell has been at war with itself a long time. It's actually low-key a wonder we haven't destroyed the earth yet. But was there ever a time that you fell victim to the Western culture trap where you overvalued independence over interdependence and didn't even know it?
And didn't know it.
Or did know it, either or.
I mean, yeah, I do know it. I go through it every day. I be like, okay, I'm trying to do this shit on my own, stuff like that. Or I want my own place, like normal stuff that everybody else goes through. So get my own car, stuff like that. Work my hardest by myself to get this thing. So.
I mean, one example I can think of a little bit is when people decline to have a mentor. Like, that's part of a maturation process too. Robert Greene's book Mastery really emphasizes the need for the mentorship stage, where you have somebody that, somebody that's gone where you're trying to go, and they give you the P's and Q's, the tips and tricks. They show you, maybe not like walk, they certainly don't do it for you, because that would be a bad mentor. Anybody that's just gonna do it for you, or where they just spoon feed you the answers, also a bad mentor. But typically, if they're gonna give you the resources that help them develop, help them along their path so that you can get where they're going. Also, since we're here, this is a little side note, but be careful about the mentor you choose, because don't take advice from somebody that hasn't been where you're trying to go. Like, don't let your family tell you, oh man, you can't do that and become a millionaire. Unless that person in your family has already become a millionaire themselves, don't let somebody who's never touched $1 million tell you what you can or can't do to get to $1 million. Now, say you're a YouTuber and then like a more popular channel, a more famous YouTuber tells you like, oh, you should do this and not that. Take his advice. He's been where you're trying to go. But like, if you're trying to start a YouTube channel and your cousin who's never been on YouTube a day in his life is like, that's some doo-doo, that's not gonna work. Don't listen to your cousin, man. I don't care if he's older than you or not. Don't listen to your cousin. But that's a side note. We can talk about literally anything, because interdependence is like the whole of our reality. So serious. That's why I keep on listening. Didn't make this, didn't make that, did nothing. I didn't build these buildings or the road. We didn't build society, man. We've depended on each other for longer than we've known. It's just like I said, Western culture. We live in a culture where the mindset gets focused on the independence, and it's only half of the equation. Depending on how you do the math, that might be less than half the equation. Independence, you're worried about yourself. It's 8 billion people on the planet. You're not even 1% of the population. So, let that be what it be. But, man, thoughts? Any open thoughts? Anything been on your mind, on your heart?
Not really. I need to find a new job. That's what I'm thinking.
I be thinking about replacing my job too. I'm finna just suck it up, go be a cop, whatever.
Yeah, the only way you can actually get a good raise out there is go find a new job, for real.
A lot of people be on that.
Especially the new generation. The job got them fucked up, they quick to leave.
They are. A lot of people be on that. Get off the slave ship, get off the ownership, then you control your own raises type stuff. But we gonna get there, man. 7 streams of income. You can trust that. Retire by 30. You can trust that.
You been gaming at all?
Nah.
You lacking, man. You lacking.
You been gaming? What you been on? Let them know.
Baldur's Gate 3. That's all I've been playing. Even though I need to finish Prince of Persia. And
you still didn't finish that? Wow.
I'm enjoying the game. The game is good. The storyline is great. But the second something occurs where I can't give my time to a quick 30 minutes of gaming or anything like that, I'll lose my interest real quick. Real quick. So the next day I could be at home sitting right there doing nothing, staring at the wall. I'm like, got nothing to do. And I look dead at my PS5 and I'm like, no, I don't feel like gaming. Just how it be.
All right, well, before we wrap up, I will give y'all one slight little open thoughts on my mind. We're working on some new content. So as y'all should probably know by now, these episodes of Shinobi Chronicles air every Monday. We're gonna be working. We got a new project in the works for y'all. We're gonna have those coming out on Fridays. So not gonna spoil anything about it, but be looking for the candid content, man. If y'all want to figure out just how funny we might actually be, because we kind of funny low key. Check us out on Fridays. It's coming soon. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Your boy, Zero's a clown.
Certified. Full time. 24/7, 365, dog.
That's our boy.
Never serious. Oh man. I think we Gucci. We can wrap this up, man. So as I said before, it's our great honor to be able to serve you all here. If you made it this far, we definitely want to say thank you for listening to the end. As you know, we came to this platform to be able to serve others who are striding down the path of greatness. And it's those of you who lend your time and your ears that make that possible. So, whatever platform you may be consuming on, be sure to like this episode, participate in our polls with us, man, and just subscribe to the channel for more insights on the life of a modern shinobi. Also, don't forget to connect with us on Instagram, TikTok, if we ever start posting on there. That's where you're going to find our short form content. Make sure you check out the YouTube shorts. Lastly, if there's anybody that you'd like to see on the show or that you'd like for us to collaborate with, I need for you to reach out to them. I say this twice every week. Content creators create for their fans, all right? Let them know that you want to see them working with us. Content creators create for their fans. And so when you say to them, rather it be in the DMs, in the comments, whatever, like, oh man, those dudes from Shinobi Chronicles, like, holler at them. That's what gets their attention pointed our way. If there's somebody like, if anybody out here watch Dr. Orion Terraband, holler at him, because that's my boy. I love his content. But anyways, if there's anybody you want to see on this channel, holler at them, say a word to them. Content creators create for their fans. And so that's what gets their attention pointed our way. And like I said, just be sure to shout us out to whoever else that you're watching and listening to, man. That said, I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you pursue your highest self this week. And remember, choose with your actions today who you're going to be tomorrow. Will you be greater than yesterday?